Okay, so here we are, Wednesday night. Where was Tuesday? I hear you ask. Well, Tuesday, it happened, but we didn't get an accountability call done. And just because we didn't get an accountability call done. So what we did was, as we do in everything we do in this business, we just take it in our stride, get to the next day, and just cover it in one call. So we're going to talk about Tuesday and Wednesday on this call. And that's just how it is. Again, for those of you who are listening in and are accountability partners or whatever, sometimes, we can't make an accountability call for good, valid reasons. And we just, okay, no problem, brush ourselves up. It's like if you're on a diet and you accidentally have a piece of pizza. You think, that's it, I've ruined my diet, I'm off, I'm just going to eat a whole bunch of stuff for days. And all you need to do is just, you know what, that's okay, I just had a bad day today and I'll have a better day tomorrow. So that's what we're doing on the call. But what I need to do is I need to bring on all the huge plethora of Fratis that are out there, marketing consultants, soon, very soon to be regional consultants, Dennis, Dee, David, Hannah, and Sarah Frati. Are you there?
Yeah. We're here.
Oh dear, it makes me laugh because I say that and then there's a pause for about 2 minutes. I think I've been talking to myself. And there it is. Then all of a sudden you cheer, and there you are. So, all right. So let's get on with our conversations. I know I'm probably 1 minute going to be talking to Dennis and 1 minute to Dee, but I'm fascinated to hear how things went. So who's going first?
That would be me, Richard. I'll go first. Yesterday, my day was I put. Trying to recall exactly. I made another call to the young man, Chris, who I met at Chick-fil-A, and just left a voicemail, and I followed more your instructions and your guidance on that. And to follow up on that one, that was the third call, and then today I did another call. And you basically said the same thing, that this was the last time. I've tried several times to contact him, and I'm very busy with the business, and so we're going to move forward. I won't be calling you anymore, and if you change your mind, you have my number, you have my card that I gave you, and take care, and I hung up. So
great. That's perfect. Good job. So now we're just going to put him on a drip list to call him back in about 3 months. 2 or 3 months, whatever you want.
Yes.
Great job. That's perfect. That's exactly what you should do. And how does it feel? Did you feel like you got the power back when you said, that's it, I'm not calling anymore?
Yes, I did. I felt, like you said, got my posture back, and I just took it away, and that's it's in his court now. The ball is in his court if he wants to use it or not, and it's on him. We just keep on moving. So yes, that's a good learning tool that you suggested, and it feels good. It feels good.
Awesome.
Like that. Okay.
Well, it's much better to feel like that than it is to be constantly calling him and him not picking your call up. I mean, you just feel like a loser. So we're just not going to do that. So this is how we do it.
Right.
We've got stuff to do. We've got people who do want to see the business. So we don't want to waste our time for people who are not going to pick the phone up. So no problem. All right. So next, we got Chris. Who's next?
Next. After that, I went to I called again Calvin, who was on my list, who was one of the top 10, and I called him again, and this time he answered the phone, and we spoke, and he explained to me why he's just been busy at work, and he did get my message, the first time I called, and so we tried to set up a time, and I was shooting for Saturday because I know he's busy during the week and everything else, and Saturday was not good. So he wanted to talk to his wife, to pick a day, look at the schedule, because with the 6 kids, they got all kinds of activities, and Saturday was a busy day. So I'm giving him a little grace on that, but he did, and it was is we have to use the training that you've given me from the system, because he's asking what's up, what's going on. So I just went into basically the D&I of started a business project, and we're really excited about it, and it's really going to go well in the DFW area. I just want to show you. It may not be your cup of tea, and you and Cassette, but I know for us, we're working on our retirement and college for the kids, and I know you're facing that same thing down the road, and I know you're busy, working a lot of hours and stuff, and so I want to show you, and it's time to kind of catch up a little bit too. We haven't seen each other, and he was trying to initiate that before, even when they first moved about a year ago now, and hey, let's get together and do lunch then. So that's what I was trying to. I said, part of that too, but just to show you what we're doing.
So when do you think you're going to get together with him?
I'm not sure. That's what I was thinking. Gave him, that was yesterday. I didn't call him today, and I figured maybe tomorrow just quick call. Hey, just wondered, if you, I don't know if that's a good idea to do that or not. I figured I'd give him 24 hours to see if he comes up with some kind of schedule.
Okay. All right. I need to understand something here. Clarify again why you couldn't set a time with him.
From what he was saying was he had to check, what the schedule is with the kids, because, many of the kids have different things. Like the Saturday was, I'm trying to remember, keeping straight from someone else. I think they had the two boys have soccer Saturday, and then one or two of his children were doing flight lessons, through a simulator, and they had that going on, plus ballet and all these things.
He's got a plate full, isn't it? It's amazing.
Yes, he does. Remember, again, 6 children, and they're very involved with their children's lives and doing things, and that's wonderful. And so I didn't want to put the pressure on him, like, well, okay, we got to do something now. So that's why I kind of backed off and said, well, I understand. You guys are busy, and they were like that even here. They were always doing something with the kids and stuff. So I can understand he needs to check with his wife. He was at work because before I think he was working kind of like a more in the evening type of thing. I think he was working, so it's changed. I guess now this was at I believe 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning when I called him. And he was at work.
Well, Dennis, let me. Here's what. There's a halfway house that we need to do here, because this is in severe danger of being wishy-washy, of nothing ever tying down. And so we kind of have to, and I do understand, don't get me wrong, I think you dealt with it perfectly fine. I don't have, I think you did great. But what we need to do is someone here needs to take control. Someone needs to be in charge, otherwise it's not going to happen. So what I would do with him is say, well, look, I know you've got to speak with your wife, but I'm like I'm super busy. Let's see if we can just we want to get something tied down. So by all means, speak to your wife. When can I give you a call back to know when we can actually get together for to have a look at what we're doing? So you're not making an appointment to get to see him. You're making the appointment like a halfway house appointment to talk to him after he's spoken to his wife. Otherwise, I mean, he's got 6 kids, dude, and you've got 3. Plus, you're both working. The chances of getting something tied down is it's like it's like trying to stack cats. It's just not going to happen. And so go halfway. Say, okay, have a chat with the wife. I'll give you a call. Say 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Do you think you'll have had a chance to chat to her, and then we can arrange a time when we can all get together? So it's not perfect, but it's halfway. It's starting to kind of herd the sheep into the pen. We haven't got them in the pen yet, but we're herding them, kind of getting them all in the group. So that's what I would do. And ideally, you would have done it on the first call. because now the next call, now we're chasing a little bit. It's not a problem. I think it'll be fine. And again, that's the benefit of hindsight. Of course, it's the benefit of hindsight. But just again, the coaching opportunity here for you, Dennis, and for the folks who are listening on the call, is when you have a situation like this where literally everything is just, everybody's flying all over the place. If you can't get the appointment, or he needs to, check his calendar or whatever, then just say, well, when would be a good time to give you a call back, just so we can try and nail something down.
Okay. Okay.
That's one way. Another way I've done it as well, by the way, which is a possibility, is to say, well, look, put your pen away and get the pencil out. Let's pencil something in for this particular time, understanding it's probably going to change, but we may be lucky, and that may be a good time for us. If sometime over the weekend, or maybe go to church on Sunday, let's just pencil into the calendar getting together, maybe 2:00 on Sunday afternoon, something like that. Again, it's in pencil, so we can change it if need be. At least there's something in there. That's another way you can do it.
Okay.
Another way you can do it. So whatever, whichever one of those two works for you. But as I say, we just got to start the process. He needs this business.
Okay.
He needs this business like you guys do. He's got 6 kids.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. And
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's good. Let's move on with that one. But I would give him a call back, or however you want to do it, and say, I don't know if you managed to speak to your wife yet, but and if it's hard to tie him down, I might say, hey, listen, I don't know if you've had a chance to speak with your wife yet, but I don't know if you are all planning, all 4 of you, on planning getting together, or just you and him. What was it?
I think the 4 of us were planning on it.
Okay. What you could do is say tomorrow when you speak to him, say, "Oh, I was chatting to Dee. She's really excited to get together with you. We're going to be free on Sunday afternoon. Have you got some time around there?"
Okay.
So you're kind of, again, being assumptive, being intentional. Again, we're not being pushy. The reason why you're telling him is the point is not about set the time up. It's the fact that Dee's excited to get together with him. I was chatting to Dee I was telling Dee that I was talking to you, and the fact that we're going to be getting together. She was really excited about getting together, and she was suggesting maybe Sunday afternoon. Can you see how that is, rather than, okay, let's see if we can get a time together, which is still valid.
Right. Okay.
But if you want to soften the blow a little bit, then blame the wife.
Nice.
But you know what I mean? It's just soften the blow a little bit. That's a nice way of doing it as well. But okay, let's move on. So that's Chris and Calvin. Chris, we've purged. Calvin, you're going to just tie down that particular time. Who's next?
Okay, next one. He was somebody I was thinking about. I really hadn't put him on my list, but it's this guy Eric. I knew him we know him from the church that I was a member of the worship team on, and he's a young guy, probably just about maybe 30, around there, barely married, got 2 boys, one just recently in the last 5 months or so. He's got another son who's probably 5 years old. So, and he's the assistant pastor at the church. And so,
the pastor?
Yes, he's the assistant. There's a senior pastor there, which is his wife's uncle and aunt. And so, and I know he's working at doing a roofing company too, some kind, because he had the ads up on a Facebook page for the hail. And he's doing that. So I texted him earlier because he's, being that age, texting works better for him. He likes it better than phone calls. So I texted him and we talked. And this was actually a while back, about maybe 2 weeks ago. He sent me a text back and said, "I'm really filled up right now." He says, with everything. He says, "Contact me in about 2 weeks." I said, "Great." So I just went on from there, and 2 weeks later I contacted him again, and that was yesterday. And he said, he answered. I called him. He answered the phone, and He said, basically, he says, yeah, he says, I get some time tomorrow. Give me a call tomorrow meaning today, after 2:00. So I did. I called him and started like, so what's this about? And so I, again, went back to the script, told him what it is, and he says, yeah, he says, well, I heard a friend of mine was telling me something about that, something about something. I can't remember what it was, and what's it about? And I said, it's a business project. And I said, it's a part-time business project that we started, and I said, but it's something that, that I really, want you to see. I said, because I want you to join me in it, with it. If it may or may not be something for you, and that's fine. If it's not, fine. If it is, fine. Just want to show it to you, because you're a brother of mine in Christ, and we love you guys. And so I kind of pushed out a little bit, and you get the boys and stuff. I know you're busy, and so he was anyway. I went fine, and we set up the appointment tomorrow at 1:00 to show the business. So I'm going to meet with him tomorrow. I've got an ambivalent response to you. Now, the definition of ambivalent means some people think ambivalent means, I don't really care. No, ambivalent means you have the opposite feeling about something at the same time. It was good, and it wasn't good. Yes.
Okay, the good was you got an appointment, dude. Awesome. Yeah. You got an appointment, 100%, love it, gold star. That part I really like. The other part that I'm a little nervous about is that he got a little bit more information out of you than I'm comfortable you're really talking about. There's a reason why you're in a hurry. When, like, for example, if I'm saying, hey, Dennis, listen, I know you're in a little bit of a hurry right now. I know I am. I know you've got to get back to work, but there's something I want you to take a look at. My son's going to college, and that's my why. I'm going to college, and I've got to make sure I get his college funds paid for. So I started a new project that's working really well for me, and I know you've got the kids going to college pretty soon, and so I want you to that's why I want you to take a look at what I'm doing. I'm not sure if it's going to be your cup of tea or not, but what are you doing after work on Friday around 5:00? You then come back to me with what Eric said. What have you got? What is it? And then now I'm hearing you're saying, well, it's a part-time project and da-da-da-da. Nah, I would avoid that. I'd say, remember I said I'm in a little bit of a hurry?
Okay.
So at the beginning of the call, I'm just about to get on the conference call. I'm just about to pick the kids up. I'm just about to do this. You've always got to be just about to do something. Because you do not want to get dragged into the valley of death, which is a business presentation over the phone, and someone starts giving you an opinion. Now, he did. He said, someone was telling me about that. Now, that's not always positive. Sometimes people come back and say, yeah, I've heard about that. That's another one of those pyramid schemes, blah, 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 right? We do not want that to happen on the invite for a number of different reasons. First of all, it's going to upset you, and it's going to stop you making any more calls that day. Let's be realistic. There are some people who are tough out there, but most of us get knocked to the curb when someone says that to us. Also, it's not duplicatable. Even though you are eloquent, Dennis, many people do not have your skill sets to be able to deal with a question like that. So I'm saying, hey, Dennis, listen, I'm just about to get on a call, and then I make my invite to the kids and the reason why I'm doing it, blah, blah, blah. I want you to take a look at what I'm doing. You say, Richard, what you got? Say, dude, I'm just about to get on a call right now. That's why I was making an appointment. So 5 is good for me, but I don't know if you can make 5 or over the weekend would be better. Okay. I'm distracting. I'm not getting dragged into a conversation at all. Now, I'm not going to be a complete I've got to keep my language clean here because the kids are in the background. I'm not going to be a complete doofus, and because sometimes some people really push hard. No, let's say you came back to me and said, "What is it?" And I'd say, "Well, listen, I've got to get on this call right now. I don't have time for it right now." Which is why I wanted to make an appointment with you. It's important you should take a look at what we're doing. And then you come back and say, look, people have talked to me about things before. I'm not going to come and see you until I know what it is. All right. Now, some people every now and again may talk about something like that. And I'd say, listen, I completely get it, but truly I am in a hurry. We're in the energy sector, and there's definitely some synergy between what I'm doing and what you're doing, and I need to take a look at what I'm doing. So I'll maybe touch on being in the energy sector.
Okay.
Okay. Now, there is a further way you can go, which some people will offer in the training, and if you'll see this on the Ambit U training, which is there'll be 3 questions. We'll say, okay, all right, I understand. Okay, you're pushing. Dennis, you're pushing. All right. How many people do you know who use electricity? And you'll say, well, everybody. How many of those people do you know who'd like to save money on it or possibly get it for free? Well, everybody. Okay. Right. Well, I'm working with a company that's able to take advantage of that and turn that into an opportunity to be able to give ourselves the, whatever your why is, our retirement funds paid. And I wanted you to look at it because we're really excited about it. So you've kind of answered their question by asking him 3 questions. Now, very rarely does it get that far down the line, because if you've postured correctly about being in so much of a hurry, then you can get off the phone. But you do want to be careful not to get dragged into a presentation on the call, because trust me, there's nothing worse. And I'm telling you, that's why some people have quit the business within a week, because they've made invitations. Everybody have said, oh, God, what are you in now? All right, and then they come back with, because they're not trained, they say, oh, well, this brand new company been started by Jerry Thompson from the 7-Eleven family. They're doing $1.5 billion in revenue, and you build these teams of people getting people and people getting people, and you can literally, there are people, I met this guy who's made over $1 million. He's got this yellow jacket and blah, 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 blah. And the guy on the other end of the phone is thinking, you've just taken the big gulp of Kool-Aid. Mm-hmm. And the guy says, what have you, I am not, you've got yourself involved in one of these and blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling you, and you'll find that person who's been making that invite, they do 2 or 3 of those calls, and they say, I'm not doing this, I can't do this business. Right. And yet if you had the ability to say, listen, Dennis, I'm in a little bit of a hurry, but there's something I need to get, then the rest of the invite, and you say to me, well, what is it? Dude, I've got to get on this conference call. That's why I wanted to make an appointment with you on Friday, about 5 o'clock. Is that going to work for you, or do you not get back until after 6? You will find 90% of people will respond perfectly well to your intentional setting of a time. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I got to get that. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I've kind of gone on a little bit there because way too many people quit the business because they've been dragged into a presentation on the call, and you know it's the worst place. It is. It's horrible. It's the worst.
I did that in like the first week or so. And it was somebody that I knew, and I figured that I decided to like you said, I did a presentation over the phone, and I never. Yeah, you're right.
And the thing is, Dennis, so, you may be the best presenter there is. You may do a fantastic job over the phone, but the problem is you're not duplicatable. You have to be able. You have to have someone like Jesse or someone like Anna or someone from your team hear you deal with that call in a way that they can deal with it. Like Anna is like 19, just go-getter type of girl, but she may not have the same eloquence or posture that you do. But if she says, listen, in her invite, she says, I've just stepped out of work because I've been meaning to give you a call. And then she makes an invite and someone says to her, what have you got to do? And she says, I've got to get, my manager's literally looking at me right now. I've got to get back to work. Let's get together after work about 5 o'clock. I'll show you what I'm doing. Anna can do that. You can do that. Jesse can do that. Gladys can do that. All of those people in your team, Shirley can do that. Michelle can do that. All of those people in your team can do that. Right. Yeah. Okay, I'm off my soapbox now.
No, that's I like when you go up there. By the way. I do.
Yeah, it has become a bit of a laughing. It's become a bit of a joke about how Richard gets on a soapbox. I think someone's going to buy me a soapbox for my birthday.
Well, I will. When I become EC, I'll buy you one with your name on it.
There you go.
Richard so much.
Okay, all right. So that's Eric's. But the thing is, you got an appointment with him. So awesome.
Yeah.
We've gone through how to make a presentation. You know exactly what to do. I'll make sure I'm available for you as best I can for a three-way, so we'll be good.
Okay, good. Okay. And
right, so what's next?
I think that's it for me. I gotta still trying to get the guy Fred, the next one, and he's dealing with the same situation. He's a single father. This was yesterday I talked to him. I didn't get a chance today. Today was a crazy day, and I got back anyway. But he opened up a little more. He's a single father with 3 kids. He's got, I guess, he's got the custody of them, and they're in that, I would say, 10 to maybe 7, maybe 11 to 7 year bracket, and just work the hours that he has there and stuff. So we've been trying to, give him a couple, different times. Hey, let's do this at this time. I was trying to do it after work yesterday. I said, hey, you get up for work at 5, right? Yeah. How if I meet you after work? I come up here and he says, no, I got he's got a softball with his 2 kids. 2 of his kids play softball. One of them does. So he has to go to the softball game. Couldn't do it after work yesterday. So weekends is with his kids. So I'm trying to find out lunch. So what I was thinking was go to him and say, hey, how about, as soon as work is done, because lunch is kind of tough. He takes it with his girlfriend. She comes over and they have lunch. So that's a tough thing. So I was thinking maybe, and want your input on that, suggest to him was, hey, how about we get together right after work? I don't want to do it tomorrow because it's too close to the business presentation being up there, but maybe Friday. Say, hey, Friday, how about Friday afterwards? When you get up for work at 5, meet you here, a few minutes, and just to show you what I'm doing, and take it from there. So at least I can get a time that seems to be good for him.
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Is just working hard on being intentional and making sure you just got to add that little bit of taking control on the call to tie it down and make it happen. I don't need to repeat myself on the other one, but just be kind of real super intentional about it, and just take control and say, okay, well let's make it, pencil it in for this date, and let's see what we can do about that, because you just got to have some intentionality and just make something happen. Yeah. And it'll happen.
That's the biggest obstacle that I sense with him is just trying to find that time to get that. So that's what I'm trying to work with, and that's what I'll try to do. Like I said, I know my schedule will be better Friday off. So okay, I'll shoot with a Friday after work and meet him. So hoping to get another presentation on Friday. So that'll be good if I have one tomorrow and then have another one Friday. That would be awesome.
Good.
Okay. Before Saturday. Okay, so that's kind of where I am right now. The guy Mike, who was on next on my list, I didn't get a chance to say that on the call Sunday. So I was giving you my top 10. I want to add to it, but he's out of state. He's in Rhode Island, but he's someone who I think I know him. He's done a lot of different things. He's had his own business. He's in the karate and has his own studio and all this kind of thing. So I think the entrepreneurial is real strong. But the big point is that he's in Rhode Island. And
that's fine. Did you want to put an invitation together for him?
Yes, I'd like to.
All right.
That's the thing I have. So honestly, I've held off on contacting him right now because of that fact, because it's out of state and and I want to get a little more. I know you've told me, and I'm a little bit hesitant about it because I got to sit down with them, and so anyway, so I'm not familiar with that. I'm more comfortable with face-to-face people here. So and
you're absolutely right. And there is a time when we're going to build in Rhode Island, but here's the deal: is the danger is that there's a fairly strong team in Rhode Island, and that someone else asks him before you do, and he says, "Yeah, that sounds great," and then he becomes an EC.
Right.
How are you going to feel about that?
Not good. Not a happy camper.
Right. So here's the deal: is we are going to make an invite to someone out of state. So that's what we're going to do. So his why? All right. So what's his pain? Why would he want to look at this business? How old is he for a start?
He is probably, I would say, maybe late 40, maybe 50.
And married and kids?
He's married. I don't believe him and his wife had any children. Have any children.
Okay, but he's got a karate school, right? So he's entrepreneurial.
He's right. He had that, and then because he's had a lot of physical problems too. I know he had, I guess, for many years of doing that. He's had a lot of tendon problems and in his hands and stuff from all the karate things, and so then he went into holistic, like a center for that holistic center he opened up. So that's what I'm saying. That entrepreneurial, independent business is very strong with him, and I knew him, and he's a musician, so I played in the band with him, and he used to be a cop in Rhode Island. I don't think he was state police, but he was definitely a police officer. So he's that kind of guy.
Is he a go-getter type?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Very focused. Even with in the band, he was very organized. Very, I use the word tight and right. He was very. Just very, everything was. I mean, he was neat. His presentation. He was, guy didn't play around much. He was very focused, and when he went for something, he went for it. And he's very, very a go-getter. So that's why I've thought about him, and I want to make a good presentation, to him. I don't want to blow it. I don't want to go in there and do that stuff.
Okay. Let me give you a couple of ideas. I would. So number one, we obviously can't do it face to face, so we're going to be showing him the video. All right, we're going to have to show him the video presentation, so we're going to set that up in the invite. But in the invite, I will be, listen, hey Mike, it's Dennis here. I haven't spoken. When was the last time you spoke to him, by the way?
It's been since I've been down here. Probably I've texted him a little bit, hey, how you doing, and everything, but I really haven't conversation. I had not had a conversation with him in about 10 years.
10 years?
Oh, wow. Yes, sir. I haven't talked to him, so it's been. I mean, he knows who I am. I know, he is. So we did a recording together. Actually, a couple of recordings together, and so yeah, it's that kind of distance. So.
Okay. Well, there's a couple of ways. There's a couple of ways we can approach this. And okay. If he's in town, it'd be much easier. The first way is to do a two-level meeting with him, and just basically get back in touch with him. It's a little harder to do when you're just doing it over the phone. But that's very much an option. Just to give him a call and just catch up. And what I would do there is I'd literally just catch up and just say, dude, it's been 10 years. I was thinking about you, and I just want to, just catch up. How are you? And just have a conversation and just keep it, nothing about the business at all, and just be asking lots of questions. What are you doing? I know last time we spoke, you had a karate school. You had some, some health issues. How are you feeling? How's the family? How's this? And I would be pretty surprised if some pain doesn't come up.
Right.
And then based upon, and so, you have your conversation and the conversation finishes. It's great, great to chat to you. Nothing about the business.
Okay.
And then leave it a day or maybe even two. and let's say he still has health issues and tendon issues or something like this.
Mm-hmm.
You can give him a call back in 2 days' time with a very specific intention to say, "Hey, Mike, it's Dennis again. It was great to chat to you the other day. Listen, I've been thinking about our conversation that we had. You know, and you were mentioning about the health problems again. There's something actually that actually may work out well for both of us. Recently, Dee, and this is the second call, right? So you've had the conversation, you've caught up. Recently, as you know, Dee and I, we're approaching retirement age, and obviously we've got the kids going to be going into college within the next few years. You know, we've really had to, change the way we do things to make sure we have enough money for retirement and stuff like that. And we actually started a business down here in the DFW area that's doing really, really well for us. And I'll be able to quit my job within the year, and we'll have our retirement fully funded within 2 or 3 years, and the kids' college funds paid. I mean, we're super excited about it. But the reason why I'm calling you, Mike, is, you talked about, your current situation. But here's the thing, is the business we have down here is having huge growth in the Rhode Island area right now. Huge growth in the Rhode Island area right now. And I'm looking to build in that area. And there you are telling me that, you've got the health issues and this type of thing. This might be something that actually would suit you, and we could do this together. When are you going to be by a computer? And I would be, boom, when are you going to be by a computer? Right. I may have said just before that, so I'd say, let's take a step back. There may be a project, we may be able to do something in the Rhode Island together. Okay, we got to that part. I don't know if it's going to be your thing or not, and that's fine. But based on the conversation you and I had, I think this really might work for you. When are you going to be by a computer? And set the appointment. Well, I'm at work right now. I'm not going to be home till 6 tonight. Great. I'll give you get home, get yourself sorted. I'll give you a call about 6:30. There's a visual thing I can send you, and you can have a look and see what we're doing. Okay, great. And then he says to you, "What is it?" You say, okay, but remember, when we would have already been in a hurry, you'd have done something with them in a hurry. Listen, I've got to pick up a client from the Mercedes dealership. I haven't got time right now. But when you get home about 6:30, 5:30 my time, 6:30 your time, I'll show you everything you need to see on the computer there, and dude, see if it makes sense for you or not. Again, it may or may not, and that's perfectly fine, but you should just take a look.
Okay.
So you could do it in that two-stage approach if you wanted to, and I think you should. After 10 years, you need to we need to be patient, take a step back, and you need to reconnect with your friend first before we, start talking about business.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I agree. That's good. Yeah.
Now the second invite, I want to go with a different invite as well, because you can pick which one you want to go with. The first one was identifying some pain that you had during the meeting. Right. But there's another approach you could do, because when you were telling me about Mike, you did nothing but compliment him. How he's sharp, he's entrepreneurial, he's really organized. That's a reason for me to call someone to go into business with me. So you could take a different tack on that one. There are certain people I've looked to go into business with me, and I've called them up because I'm so impressed with them. So you could, on the second call, you still need to reconnect with him. So we're still going to have that social conversation and end the conversation without talking about the business.
Right, okay. Yeah.
And then the second one, it would be, hey, listen, Mike, it was great to catch up with you a couple of days ago. Listen, I know that Dee and I are getting towards our retirement age, and we've got to get our retirement filled up, because otherwise we're going to be in trouble. So we started a business just recently that's doing really, really well for us in the DFW area. And dude, whenever I've spoken to you, I've always been really impressed with what you've done. The karate school, the holistic company that you had when we were musicians together. You're always super organized. You're really sharp at what you're doing. Dude, I want you to consider becoming my partner in this area, because we're growing up in the Rhode Island area. And I want you to look at this and consider becoming my partner. That's actually very complimentary. Some people, especially us guys with our egos, would would really respond to that well. And you know him better than I do, so you can go for an addressing his pain invite, or you can go for a direct, dude, you are so impressive. And I was reminded how impressive you were on the call we had the other day. I want you to consider being my partner because we are growing like crazy up in the Rhode Island area.
Right.
So pick which one you like.
Yeah, I can tell you now. Just I think the second one because all the stuff I said about him is that's the kind of guy. And if you met him, you would walk away with the same impression. He's a no nonsense guy, and that's really how I feel about him. I mean, he was always I respected him. I respected him as a musician and just as a band leader, and everything was taken care of, and there was never any doubt. You knew exactly song wise, the whole thing, everything was there. Boom, 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 boom. And yeah, those were qualities I would feel very comfortable presenting it that way to him because it's just the truth. So it would be more natural. The pain thing, and I'll tell you why too. Just with that, you just to know. Is because he's been dealing with a lot of pain issues over the years. That even when I knew him, even then when I was there, he was dealing with all kinds of stuff. He's got a digestive problem. I don't know if it's colitis or something, but he has all these allergies. So he's dealing with many different. But you never know by being around him. He didn't act that way. So he's that. I think the second one would work a lot better for him. I think that would.
Okay. Even though we're going to go the second approach, you still need that first meeting to reconnect with him. We've got to reestablish the relationship first. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
It's insincere, and I just think it's just not right. I think you need to reestablish that relationship again. But then when you invite him on the second one, make sure you follow each of the 5 rules. Be in a hurry. Your why as to the reason why you set this business up. The excitement, the hook, which is, you started the business, is doing really well in the DFW area. You're going to be able to quit your job within the year, and you're going to be have your retirement fully funded and all the kids' college funds paid within 3 to 5 years. However you want to say that, because that's the truth too.
Right.
Listen, and then it's going to be real direct. So I've been real impressed. Since that conversation, I was reminded how impressed I always was with you.
Right. Good,
okay, and then you're gonna. I don't want to repeat myself, but then you're gonna, build him up, compliment him, and then be direct and say, "Listen, I don't know if this is going to be your thing or not, but I want you to consider being my business partner because we're growing so well in the Rhode Island area." Okay, make sure, and then be intentional. What are you doing? When are you going to be by the computer?
That's
so all 5 things. Don't get dragged off into something that's distracting from it. All 5 things need to be covered, and we'll be good to go. All right, let's move on because this is going to be a long call otherwise.
Yes. So that's about it for me. I'm going to turn it over to my lovely wife, and she can tell you about Brad. Okay.
All righty. Thanks, man.
Okay.
Oh, it's still muted. Hi, Richard.
Oh, hello. How are you, lovely?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very well indeed. Thank you very much. I'm still all excited from the last call about Japan.
Oh,
listening into Richard and Mary's call.
Oh, yes. I was just thinking about people that I knew, and I realized, what about Gumi? She sat on my lap for 28 days when we were on a mission trip because we didn't have enough room in the van. Anyway, so just thinking of people from Japan. But anyway, hey,
talk to me.
The pauses that you, FYI, side note, the pauses that you hear is because we're muting, because there's 5 of us. It could be really noisy while you're talking. We're trying to cut down the background. So whenever you ask for, so that's where the pause is coming from. We have to turn it off mute then. Anyway. Okay, so I was responsible for calling Brad.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, I left a voicemail. I was really, really, really grateful that he wasn't there. I was like, yes, he didn't answer. And then he called
But I've got an excuse. I've got something to tell Richard, so I'm not going to be in trouble.
yay! But he called back. So.
Oh, darn it.
Yeah, he called back. Yeah. So, anyway, so, I hey, Brad, of course, Dennis and I are looking at retirement. It's not panning out the way we were hoping, and at our age, we've got to step it up. And so we started a small business project that's doing very well in the DFW area, and I was really hoping to get your advice because it's one thing we know about you. You are a shrewd businessman, and I need your input. So I'm just wondering if you can just give me a little bit of your time. I know you're busy. I'm busy. The kids are getting ready to come in and shut down for the night. And so I'm just wondering if you have a few seconds, can we talk? And he said, He said,
Yes.
What talking about? And I said, just something that Dennis and I are doing. And he said, D. And then I started sweating again.
Yes.
I said, yeah. And he said, so what are we talking about? And I said, a small business project. He said, in what sector? And I said, energy. And he said, and exactly what we're talking about. And I said, well, it's really late and, the kids will be coming in and only have a few seconds. And he said, okay, so what are we talking about?
Right.
And I was like, don't do this to me. You're my second call ever.
Yeah, you got thrown in the deep end with this one.
Oh, it's so intense. Anyway, and so I said, yeah. So, well, I said electricity. I said, I know, I didn't. I said deregulation. He said, oh, deregulation. Okay. He said, okay. What company is it? And I went, he said, D. And I'm like, ah! So I grabbed the phone and ran down the hallway to be alone in the living room, and I just looked at the front door and said, Ambit.
Okay. And what did he say?
He said, Ambit. He said, well, I can tell you right now, it is a very good company. And I said, yeah, it is, Brad. It's a wonderful company. And he said, yes. And I know about Ambit because when this was opening, he said, I had a meeting with Jerry Thompson to kind of look into it. And I was like, what do you mean? He said,
wow.
I just wanted to have some time with him. And I was like, right, yeah. I said, okay, that's kind of cool. And he said, yeah. And then some other friends of ours were looking at starting, whatever. I forget how he worded it, but looking into investing in deregulation. And so he said, I had a few friends that I met with at the time. And one of them, he mentioned all these names. I don't know any of these names. And but he said, and so we talked about him starting his thing, and so he started Stream, and he said, and so I was just trying to decide which direction I wanted to go, if I wanted to even, spend some energy with this, and he said, and I just decided that that's not something that I want to take advantage of right now.
788465997. Sorry, mailbox is full. To send an SMS notification, press 5.
Not sure what that is.
Phone, is it? That was weird.
To send an SMS notification, press 5.
Hold on.
Okay. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. So I said,
Right.
okay, so I said, oh, so he said, yeah. He said, so I've looked at this, and we've had our people look at this, and he said, and so he said, it is a very well-respected company. He said, and I want to know why you haven't called me sooner. I was like, are you serious?
You're kidding me.
I am not kidding you. And so I wonder why you haven't called me sooner. I was like, well, because I know you're busy. He said, do you know you and I are good friends? I'm like, yeah, I know, Brett, we are. He goes, I talk to you about once a year. I said, yeah. And he said, so why haven't you called me sooner? I was like, okay, well, you're telling me now that this is totally, nothing here is duplicatable. And I said, I was just like, I wanted to throw the phone and run out the door. And he goes, indeed, you sound afraid. I go, I'm not afraid. And he said, let me tell you something. He said, this is a very good company. And he said, and you are not selling electricity. He said, Dee, you're offering people value. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you take this seriously, he said, I will refer every person I know to you. And I said, okay, thanks, Brad. And he said, and then he went on a whole different thing, and something about his tax attorneys and some other place he flew to examine deregulation and something else. It was way over my head, honestly. And then we ended up talking about housing. It was terrible. But can I just say something to you? I know this sounds crazy, and I know I just did everything wrong, but I have never been so encouraged. I came out of there like, I am so encouraged. And it was so uplifting that I was on the phone today just calling people. I went from being petrified to talking to someone who said, how dare you be petrified? And he just really actually scolded me. He scolded me regarding putting people on a pedestal. He said, how dare you? And, you know, so it was really actually very good call. I mean, as far as...
Well, let me tell you this. The one thing you were absolutely right about is that is not duplicatable. Oh, my gosh, that is hilarious. Okay.
Yeah, he was talking to me about the house he decided not to take in Highland Park, and I was like, I'm hanging up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's something to learn from this, but then there's also something we need to do. The thing to learn from this is you cannot do an invitation or a presentation badly to the right person. You
right.
can, you know, he was the right person. You were lucky, and we'll take luck. We'll take luck. I mean, I'll take it because that's a difficult. You truly were thrown in the deep end with a difficult call when someone's going to you, Dee, what have you got? And you're like, and if you've been trained to not say. But, you know, with more training, you heard me with Dennis, that if someone keeps pushing, then you don't want to be a doofus about it. You know, you just say, okay, well, it's in the energy sector, but I am in a little bit of a hurry and I'm struggling. But if he keeps going, okay, I've been here, I've been around the, you know, I didn't come in on the latest banana boat. I know what you're doing here. Tell me what it is. And if someone's pushing like that, and I would, when someone calls me, with this type of thing, I do that because I recognize the tactics. But I'm also not a bad guy. I'm not going to be someone who's. I know what they're doing, and that's when you say, well, look, who do you know who uses electricity? And he would be like, well, everybody, and hopefully he'd play the game with you. And then you could say, well, you know, who do you know who'd like to get it for a cheaper price or for free? And then, well, I've teamed up with a company that's taken advantage of that situation and put me in a position where I'm in a business now where I can get my retirement paid. Now, he probably would still say, who's the company? And you know what? The answer to that is, it's Ambit Energy.
Yeah.
Is not to say I don't want to tell you, because some people don't know what to do, and they'll say, I don't know what to say, and they'll keep trying, because they've been trained not to say anything, they'll keep not saying anything. And I'm saying don't do that. I'm saying in most cases, you can use the fact you're in a hurry and want to get together, and that will cover 90 to 95% of cases. But the other 5% that you just bumped into on the first call will want to know.
Yeah. I was even
and
trying
so
to
the first rebuttal is I'm in a hurry. The second one is we're in the energy sector, and then so I'm in a hurry, and then go for the close, and you know to make the appointment. The second one is we're in the energy sector, but I'm truly I haven't got time right now because I've got to get my kids to bed. I've got to get on that conference call, but I and then go for the close again. But I'm available after work about 5:30 if you want. We can talk about it then.
Yeah.
And then the last, well, there's two more. The third one is then, who do you know, the three questions. And if he's still pushing and saying, D, what have you got? Tell me what you've got. Then you could say, I just partnered with a company in Dallas called Ambit Energy.
Yeah.
Then and that's so you can get, and that's okay, because anything other than that is weird.
Right.
You know, if you're not going to tell him, what's the big secret? Stop being such a, you know. It's just really it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
On with Jerry Thompson, you know. Yeah, I flew in for that from whatever country he was from, and then I said, you know, Warren Buffett said that, you know, energy deregulation is the largest transfer of wealth in history, and he said, and he also said, be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. And he said, and right now there is such a huge wave of fear sweeping across America. This is the perfect time to do what you're doing.
Oh my
and I was like, yep. I said, yep.
Okay.
I said, yeah, you're right. Yep.
All right. So now we've got a big mess, right? We've got a big mess with a potential, you know, incredible guy in our business. What do we do next? So you've invited him. He said, why haven't you called me before? He said, I'll refer everybody to you. We still need – so has he told you he doesn't want to do the business?
Yes, he told me he met with the owners and he decided that he wanted to go a different route. He's actually doing something, believe it or not, involving energy deregulation. He's actually doing something. It's another one of his companies. But he also said that he missed seeing us. He said he missed the kids and he wanted us to come up and visit him. And so I said, okay. And he said he had some ideas that he wants to run across me. He want to run by me, but it's regarding ministry and some things, because he and I started a little church plant, a little ministry plant in the urban area. It was real successful, and so anyway, so actually he ended up talking to us about that until midnight. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like
all right. So
3 hours.
and I'm getting a feel for the type of chap that he is, and he's a pretty he's a guy with a lot of power. He knows himself. He knows what he wants. Anybody who can be that vulnerable to you and humble to you and encouraging, that's a good guy. So what you need to do is to go get together with him. You know, he's interested. He's going to ask you. So take a magazine. I mean, okay. I wonder if he's been updated. You know,
right.
It was 11 years ago, almost 11 years ago he met Jerry. Right?
You know what?
It was when he was first starting.
You're right. You know, I think it was actually, I think it was 10 years ago. I think he said 10 years ago. But
okay.
But I will say this to you. I'm going to tell you the reason why I wanted to talk to him. I wanted to talk to him because I knew that the expansion in Japan would be interesting to him. I just from knowing him, I felt like that would be interesting to him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, so okay, take the magazine. I'm taking notes now.
Yeah, so take the magazine and say, look, you know, obviously we're new in the business. We're not experts in any way, but I know you would be interested in seeing, you know, what's happened to Ambit since you had a look. And I would just, you know, kind of get yourself genned up on what's happened over the years. When he first looked, we were only in Texas. Now we're in 17 states. When he first looked, he had less than $40 million in revenue. Now we have $1.2 billion in revenue. Before, he had, you know, I don't know, 700, 1,000 consultants. Now there's almost 500,000 consultants.
Okay.
So give him all the information of the change. But the thing is, the biggest thing is at the moment is the opportunity in Japan. Now, let me tell you this: you're not going to need to sell the idea to him.
Right.
If he sees this, he will buy it. You won't need to sell it. And if he doesn't buy it, you're not going to sell it to him.
Right. That's right. I know
So-
that. I
so-
know that.
Right. And again, I'm saying this out loud. I know you know this, Dee, but I'm saying this out loud because obviously there's a lot of people on the call who are listening as well. So we've got to turn this into a coaching opportunity.
Yeah.
So all you could do is update him, tell him everything that's changed. It's very much like, calling someone, we talk about the 3 changes, what's changed in you, what's changed in them, what's changed in Ambit. We're going to do the same thing. And he will buy from you or he won't.
Okay.
But I would go with a magazine, go genned up on what's going on, and just see what happens.
Okay. That sounds good.
And then, of course, when he said, if he says no, say, you remember you said you'd refer everybody to me? Did you mean that?
Right.
Because who do you know in Japan?
Mm-hmm.
Who do you know in Rhode Island? Who do you know in Massachusetts? Who do you know here? I would get him for every referral he's got.
Yeah, and I even asked him to be a customer. I said, well, what can you do to be a customer? He said, well, the property that he has is Farmers Co-op or some.
Oh, he's in a co-op.
Mm-hmm.
No, but Dee, you did great. You did great, and what a great coaching opportunity. I'm really glad he was a nice guy, and you weren't beaten up, especially with how nervous you were about the call.
Yeah, it was actually awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and I think he really empowered you. We've got there's a big thank you owe him because he could have ripped you to shreds.
I could have.
Yeah. All right. So, okay. So, is there? We've been on the call now for over an hour. So, is there anything else we need to cover?
I left a voicemail with a potential customer. He wants us at his bill. I left a voicemail with him and a text message and told him he can just screenshot what's it called, honey? Screenshot it over to me or email me. Left his information. He is the friend of one of our consultants, and I spoke with my sister today as well, and she said she was looking for some part-time employment. So Dennis has been working with my brother-in-law, so we're just kind of working with them. Hopefully get a presentation set up with them. So anyway, but other than that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, because the call's been so long, I'm not going to do any more invites. If the kids have been waiting up to do that, we're just a little too long on the call. We'll do it on tomorrow's call. Because I know we've got to get some more invites done, but you've got enough information on the how to make an invite to get a couple more invites done tomorrow. So if you guys wouldn't mind doing that, so we can then chat tomorrow. Sound good?
Sounds good.
But I would get with Brad as quick as you can. I want that guy in our business like I can't tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, he would be awesome. What a great man, both for his experience, but what a lovely man for the way he dealt with you. That was very, very nice. It was a very nice thing to do.
Sweetheart.
All right, okay. Well, I'm going to let you guys go. It's late. I've got to get home. My wife had my dinner ready 2 hours ago, so I'm in trouble.
Go eat it. Yes.
All right, but guys, thanks very much for getting on the call, and I will speak to you no doubt tomorrow, and we still need to chat about Anna and her last few days as customers, but not on this call. We'll talk about that another time. So guys, have a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Okay. Good night. Good night. Bye-bye.
All right, good night, guys. Good night, kids.
All right.
Good night.
All righty, bye-bye now. Bye.